Alright friends, welcome back to another video on building multipurpose Laravel 9 and Vue 3 application. And in this video we'll be working on this section, and when I click on this tab, then we'll make this as selected, and also we'll show the total count for each appointment status. So here we are saying that there are 5 scheduled appointments, and here if I click on this, this got selected, and we are saying that there are 3 confirmed appointments and there is 1 cancel appointments, and in altogether there are 9 appointments. So throughout this video we'll be building this exact thing, so let's get started. Okay, we have this UI. First of all, let's make this dynamic and get the status using some endpoint. So let's do that part. Let me go to list appointments.vue file, and then let me comment this part. Okay, and let me define the variable called appointment status, which I have already defined over here. Let me comment this part, and let me define another method called get appointment status. And let's call the endpoint axios.get API/appointment status, and then we'll get the response, and we'll assign the response to appointment status. So appointment status dot value equals response dot data, and let's define that over here. Appointment status, make this as reactive reference. Let's make this as empty array. Now let's define this endpoint called API/appointment status. Over here, let's define that route get API/appointment status, and we can define the separate controller for it. Let's do that part. PHP artisan, make me a controller inside of admin slash, and let's see where we have defined this first. This is inside of app HTTP controllers admin, so let's put that inside of admin as well, and let's give it a name called appointment status controller. And we have this. Let's define the function called get status with count. Okay, now from here we can return something. Let me go to web.php file, and then let's use that controller called appointment status controller plus, and call the method called get status with count. Okay, now from here let's just return the dummy data. For now, let's just return the status name is schedule, and let's add another name called confirmed. And if I go to the browser, let me refresh that, and let me open up the network tab. Let me scroll it, and we are not calling that endpoint, so let's call that endpoint. Instead of list appointments, we need to get the appointments on mounted. So after this, let's call the method called get appointment status. Now let me refresh it once again, and here we are calling that endpoint. And if I go to the preview section, we are getting the error, and it is saying the get status with count does not exist. So let's fix that. Get status with count, get status with count. There was some typo, so let me try this. Now we are getting the successful response, and we are getting 2 status, which is scheduled and confirmed, which is perfect. Now we can loop over is the status and show that in our UI. So let me go over here. Let's use v4 status in appointment, right? And we have defined this above. appointment status. Now when you click on it, we are calling the method called get appointments. For now, let's just remove this part. Let's fix the typo. And we have two status, right? Now let me go to appointment status. Let's add another one with the name called cancel. Now we have three different status. Let's change this to status.name, and we have schedule, confirmed and cancelled. Now here, instead of showing this manually, we can loop over appointment status that we have defined as enum. So let's do that part. Let's define the variable called cases, and we can do appointment status get the cases. And after this, we can collect the cases, and here cases will return every appointment status. So let me show you that cases. Let me refresh it. Open up the console. And on appointment status, we are getting those status, right? And we are getting 3 items with index 0, 1 and 2. And we have name as scheduled and value as 1, right? So over here, let's do collect those cases and perform the map operation. Status. And then let's return the name is status name, value is status value, and we need to pass count as well to show the number over here, right? So let's say count is for now. Let's just show some number is 4, and we need to show the color as well, right? So for color, let's say appointment status from status value get the color, and we have already defined that method called color right over here. If it is scheduled, then it will return primary. If it is confirmed, it will return success, and finally if it is cancelled, then it will return danger. And we can return this. And let's remove this from here, and let's try this. And we have 3 different status, which is schedule, confirmed and cancel, but we are getting 0 and we are getting the same color. So let's fix that part. We go over here, list appointments, and over here let's remove this, and let's add a class, and we will show badge, and then we'll make this part as dynamic, and we'll get that color using status.color, and we don't need this curly bracket as well. And this is perfect. We are getting different colors for different appointment status, right? Now we need to show the count as well. So for that we can do status.count. Okay, for now we are getting 4 because we have passed that from here. So here we need to change this, and we need to get the actual appointment count for each status. So let's do that part. Here we can do appointment where the status is the given status, and can get the value using status value, and we get the count. Now let me refresh it, and we are getting 5 scheduled, 3 confirmed and 1 cancelled. But this is not working. When I click on it, this is not working. So let's fix that as well. Let me go to list appointments, and while calling the get appointments method, we need to pass the status value. So let's do status.value. Now let me click on this, and this is working, right? But we need to make this as active when we are clicking on cancel or on different tabs, right? So to do that, we need to change this button default to button secondary. So if I change this to button secondary, then we are making this as selected, right? So we need to work on that part. And over here, let's remove this button secondary and let's add inside of conditional. So if the selected status is the same as status value, then we'll make this as button secondary, otherwise we'll make this as button default. So we need to define this called selected status. Let's define it over here, selected status, and by default here passing nothing. Now when we are filtering these appointments based on the status, then we need to change the selected status value as well. So over here we can do selected status dot value is the given status. Okay, now let me try this. And here when I clicked on schedule, and this is marked as active, right? If I click on confirm, then we see this active tab, which is great for UI, but here we are making all as selected every time. So let's fix that as well. Let me go to all section, and over here let's add conditional. So we can do class, and we need to check if the selected status is undefined. So undefined means and the by default all will get selected. Okay, so we can do if the type of the selected status is undefined, then we'll show button secondary class, otherwise we'll show button default class. Now let's try this as well. Now if I click on schedule, then this is removed. If I click on all, then we are making this selected, right? But we are not showing the total counts for the all, so we need to sum all these 3 appointment status and show it over here. So let's do that part as well. For that, let's define the computed function. So let's say const appointments count computed, and over here let's import that called computed from Vue, and if I return, let's say 10, and let's use this instead of all appointments over here, and then we are getting 10, right? But we need to do the actual calculation. So inside this method, let's perform the actual calculation. So we can do appointment status dot value dot map over each status, and then return the count, and finally call the reduce method on it, which will receive accumulator and value, and it will return the accumulator plus value, and by default as a starting value it will be 0. Now let me try this, and we are getting 9, which is perfect. And finally let me try this one more time, scheduled, confirmed, cancelled, and if I click on all, then we are showing all those appointments. So this much for this video. I hope this video was helpful for you. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel, as I'll be uploading the videos like this. So till then, have a great time, and I will see you on the next one.